Right now, the market is caught in this massive tug of war. You've got these two huge forces pulling in completely opposite directions. On one side, you have this absolutely breathtaking tech optimism. And on the other, you have the crushing weight of war and economic fear. So today, we're going to break down which force really has the upper hand. So let's just dive right in. It really boils down to this: a $1 trillion tech boom going head-to-head with the Federal Reserve and a widening war. I mean, this is the battle line. And honestly, the outcome is going to define the entire week for all of us. Okay, first up, let's talk about the force that's pulling the market higher. It's this incredible wave of tech optimism, and it's being led by one company that just announced a truly jaw-dropping number. Yeah, $1 trillion. That's the number that NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, just casually dropped at their big GTC event. It's for combined orders for their new Blackwell and Vera Rubin platforms. It's a number so big, it's kind of hard to even wrap your head around, right? And look, this isn't just about one company hitting it big. That trillion-dollar figure, it doubles what even the most optimistic analysts on Wall Street were predicting. What that signals is a massive acceleration in the demand for AI infrastructure, and it's kicking off this powerful rotation of money back into the tech sector. And, the market didn't wait around to react. NVIDIA's stock jumped almost 2% on the news. So this is the engine of optimism, just chugging along, pulling the market up. But it is running smack into a giant wall of uncertainty. And that wall, well, it's being built brick by the Federal Reserve. Their big meeting kicks off today, and let me tell you, they are staring at a brand new and very, very complicated economic puzzle. Okay, so here's the thing you have to understand. Nobody really cares about today's rate decision. A hold is pretty much a done deal. What everyone is waiting for is something called the dot plot, which comes out tomorrow. This little chart, this is where we're going to see what the Fed is really thinking. So why is everyone so obsessed with this one chart? Well, because this is our first official look, our first peek behind the curtain at how the Fed is factoring in the conflict in the Middle East and that huge shock we've all seen to oil prices. Does their forecast show a way out, or does it show a dangerous new inflationary fire just starting to burn? So when Fed Chair Powell gets up to the podium, the entire world is going to be listening for one key distinction. Does he describe this new inflation as transitory, a temporary blip and annoyance that's going to fade away? Or does he see it as structural, meaning it's a deep embedded problem? Because if it's structural, that means interest rates have to stay high for much, much longer. And that right there changes the entire game. And, as if that wasn't enough for the Fed to deal with, there's the big, unpredictable wild card, the geopolitical situation, which just took a pretty significant turn for the worse. On day 17 of the conflict, the whole map just changed. Israel has now launched ground operations into southern Lebanon. That officially brings Hezbollah into the fight. And on top of all that, you have the swirling uncertainty around Iran's Supreme Leader. Nobody's seen him in 3 weeks. This is the exact kind of extreme, unpredictable volatility that markets absolutely hate. You can see the immediate market impact right here in the price of crude oil. At around $95 a barrel, the risk of a wider conflict in Lebanon is creating a solid floor under energy prices. And that, of course, feeds directly back into that inflation headache the Fed is trying to solve. And in parallel, look at this: gold topping $5,000 an ounce. Now, this isn't just about inflation expectations. This is a pure flight to safety. It's a huge signal that for all that incredible optimism in tech, there is still this deep, powerful current of fear running just beneath the surface. So let's bring it all together. You have the trillion-dollar tech boom pulling the market up, and you have the sheer gravity of war and Fed policy pulling it down. This is the core conflict, the main event you need to be watching today. I mean, this really is the battle line. It's the clean, forward-looking momentum of a tech revolution going head-to-head with the messy, unpredictable reality of geopolitics and economics. And all of that makes today the first major test for this whole new tech rally. So if you want to see which side is winning this tug-of-war in real time, keep your eyes on these 3 specific signals. The 10-year Treasury yield, that'll tell you what the bond market fears more, inflation or recession. Then you've got to watch the headlines coming out of Lebanon and Iran. Those will tell you if the geopolitical risk is getting better or a whole lot worse. And that's really the question we're left with, isn't it? Which headline is going to own the day? Will the market be driven by Jensen Huang's trillion-dollar vision, or by the challenging, messy realities facing Jerome Powell and the leaders in the Middle East? The answer? Well, that's going to set the market's direction for the rest of the week.